doing taking a class, Clark County was like a week compost class, and they did this. I'm curious if everybody knows they went.
Well, that's some elementary school.
Yeah. So I'll do it once, you'll do it together. Right? Love it. It was just so useful.
Yeah, I taught for 30 years. Give me 5. 2 eyes on me, 2 ears open, and mouth shut.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, welcome everybody to the March meeting for the Four Creeks Neighborhood Association. Tonight is our elections, and we've got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. We're gonna just dive right into it. Marilee, do you have the presentation up, PowerPoint?
I can see it here, but
oh, great. No, not a problem. Then I can. I've got it here. So we'll do some quick introductions. My name is Andrew Chaka. I'm the president of the Four Creeks Neighborhood Association, and have been doing this role for about 2 years. We've got other board members here tonight. I will say one of them, our vice president, Jay has had to step out. Jay has had to step out. Is having a medical situation. So we'll find out more later, unfortunately. But that's where Jay is right now. Jessica, would you like to? And
yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Lavanis. I'm the secretary and treasurer as of now. So we'll see after tonight.
We'll see after tonight. We do need a secretary to take over. We had somebody express interest.
Oh,
she's here. So I think maybe I heard an exclamation from the crowd when I said, which is great. So we'll call this meeting to order with the end, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And folks, every meeting we post a link to YouTube these days, so you can see the video of the meeting, which is really helpful. But we also take notes on that. Those notes have been posted since the last meeting. We need to approve those meeting minutes each time. So can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve last.
Can I get that motion seconded? Just seconded it. Vote to approve meeting minutes from January. Wasn't unanimous.
Never had that.
We've never had that actually.
That's meeting you're opposed to the minutes.
Yeah. All opposed? That's a question. Anyone opposed to approving? No. Okay. So all abstentions. Great. We like that. All right. So those meeting minutes are approved. And then you see our agenda today. We've had a little bit of changes here. When I sent out an email, you guys might have seen that we had week compost was going to come, and that didn't work out. So they're not on the agenda this evening. But we do have our officer liaison here. We've got Deputy Frigon with us. So Deputy Frigon, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Deputy Frigon with the Sheriff's Office for the last 2 years. Before that, I was in the Army for 15. And yeah, I'm the 70 unit for the rest of the year. So I'll be assigned to your guys' association. Yeah, I guess other than that, like going forward, things to hit on. I don't know if any of our chiefs or anybody talked to anybody about call response changes or anything like that. You can take them, you guys. Okay. So due to staff, so I quickly looked at the map to figure out where your guys' association was, and then get a guess at what most of our chief concerns are going to be. And I have a feeling it's going to be speeding. Is that generally the consensus across the room? So based on the area that I understand the concern. As far as my shift graveyard, there's 4 of us, right? To safely run any call, you need 2 people, which means across all of Western Clark County, we can only handle 2 calls at a time, right? And if it's a call where somebody's gonna have to fight somebody, then we have to take all 4 of the deputies. And so then we get to take no other call during that time. So unfortunately, we have not been able to do as much traffic as we would like to do. And trust me, everybody on my shift loves to do traffic, specifically because that's how we find warrants. That's how we get information on people that might get in a hit and run later, and then we can use that information to go catch guys. Like we love doing that stuff, building our database. But it's not something we've been able to get after as much as we wanted. They created new call response protocols for us. So certain calls that we used to go to, not going to free us up so that we can do a little bit more proactive policing. Proactive policing is realistically what neighborhoods need more than some of the calls we get, right? So an example of this is, sorry, just taking on screen. So if we get an alarm call with no evidence of a possible burglary, we're no longer going to those, right? So if an alarm goes off, and like let's say your alarm goes off at home, and you check the camera, or you're like, hey, I think there might be somebody here. There's some evidence that somebody's here. Call in yourself. Be like, hey, my alarm went off. This is what I saw. This is what I think. This is why I need a response, right? We will absolutely 100% go to that. What we don't do is when ADT calls, because this is like your dog sets off your alarm, and then ADT doesn't call you and verify the alarm, which is what they're contractually required to do. They just call us and try and dispatch us, and we don't have time to go to those anymore. So unless you guys call us and tell us, hey, there's something that definitively is showing us that I think there's somebody in my yard, I think there's somebody near my house, I need a police response, we will come to that. But without that, if your alarm company calls, you're not going to it. It's going to get queued forward, and if something comes up later, we can do that. Juvenile issues that can be handled by a school. So we have resource officers now. We want to let the schools and the resource officers handle those things. We do get quite a few calls where it's like a parent, something happened at school, parents not happy with the way the school's handling it. They want the police to get involved because they just want more, I don't know, consequences. It's not really an appropriate way to handle that. We leave that to the resource officers, we leave it to the schools, let the most qualified people handle those situations. Any kind of found property, unless it's a gun, some kind of something that I can use to get back to the person. So if it's like an ID card, you can turn in found property. We'll try and find the person. If it's a gun, absolutely call us. If it's drugs, call us. If you find a backpack, and we're not going to come out to it. And then this is, so every deputy has like the thing that they love and the thing that they chase, right? So if this comes up in your neighborhood, canners, right? The people who drive around and collect cans from your recycling bins. There's a lot of deputies that don't like going to that call. I love canning calls. I am one of the only people who loves canning calls. If you guys have canners, call 311. Like, hey, I've got a canner in my neighborhood. This is the vehicle they're driving. You can give me a plate, and that gives me probable cause to stop them right off the bat, right? I have to do less investigation before I can write a citation. Waste Connections is agreed. So in case you guys didn't know, when you put something in your recycling bin, it no longer belongs to you. It belongs to Waste Connections. Waste Connections is agreed to be the victim of a crime. If I want to charge somebody with theft, and I've done it twice now. I've cited somebody for it. Usually I give them a warning and I don't ever see them come back, right? So if you have canners, feel free to call it in. I will go look for them. I love that call. That's how I catch a lot of my warrants. It's going after canners. Also, we talked about target of opportunities, right? You don't leave valuable things in your car. Please do not warm your car in your driveway, keys in it, right? Like I know it's like I was in Colorado before this, and I used to do it, and like now, like it's the craziest thing ever. That's most of our stolen vehicles. That's how they happen. But along with the target of opportunity thought process, canners running around casing areas, they're going to identify weaknesses you have in your house or in your neighborhoods. So I love chasing those. For all of you guys, please don't do the thing where like you set out a bag with cans with a thank you note, right? Let's not invite the trouble that comes. That brings with us.
Awesome.
I think that's about it. Then, hey, a fact that, so with the call response thing, so I know like it sounds shocking when I say there's only 4 deputies for the whole west side. So Washington State is top 3 in the United States for the lowest police officers per capita, right? So we are in one of the worst states for staff and police officers. Clark County is #1 lowest officers per capita. So we are in a massive struggle right now. There's kind of a battle with the county right now, trying to get our numbers up to a reasonable level. We are currently the lowest of the low. There's some good news in that, right? So like we in Clark County get so many calls that we get really, really good at handling big calls, right? So If there is an active burglary at your house, just know that when we show up, like we've done it a bunch of times, we're really, really good at it. The bad news is it makes it so we have to miss smaller calls. So, and I'm sorry about that. It's just kind of the way things are until the county can get us more officers, more deputies.
So is there nobody applying or no money to?
There's no approval for slots. So so as an example, over 50% of patrol right now was hired since 2023. Hiring has been a boom, right? We've been getting guys like crazy. And everybody's going through training. Like everybody's doing really, really well as far as like getting those numbers up and staffing. The challenge is now that we are hitting our threshold. So the number that we're allowed to have, we are hitting that number, right? When we talk about traffic concerns, our traffic unit used to have 6 to 8 people, right? 3 of them are out in there working like fatality car crashes. And the rest of them were running around, giving out, doing traffic enforcement in different places, DUI emphasis, speeding emphasis, right? They're out there just putting themselves out on traffic stops nonstop. We got 3 guys now. So all they do is fatality crashes. It's the only thing that our traffic unit can do because we don't have enough people to fill up the traffic units to go do those other things. On patrol, it crushes us because there's just fewer of us. And we can't, like, there's a call that comes up that requires 2 officers, and I'm the only one available. Like, I have to wait until somebody else frees up or comes across from the central side of county, and try and help out. And we do, like, we spread ourselves out as much as we can, try to get to every call. It is just very, very hard at this time, being the lowest staffed county in the entire state.
Well, we're gonna try to. Sorry, but it's okay. It's okay. We've got a lot of stuff to make, so we'll take one more.
I'll call him.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hi, thanks. I'm Sue Marshall. I'm on the county council, and I appreciate all the work that you and the sheriff and whole department do. But I would just like to say, it's not a battle. We're working on this together. It's recruitment, retention, and funding, and ultimately, it'll be up to everyone in this room to support whatever package we're able to put together. But we're working on it. We're working on it.
And then I'd like to remind everybody, I'm not involved in politics. The sheriff runs the sheriff's office. I'm just the dude that goes and fights people on the street. So my impressions of things that are happening are going to be a little bit skewed versus what the sheriff's office believes versus what Garett Frigon believes.
Sure.
Thank you for all you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And Deputy Frigon is assigned to us, sounds like for a year, so hopefully we'll be seeing him at the meeting, so that's great. We've also got Battalion Chief Rommel here, wants to give some updates.
So, my name is Abe Rommel. I'm a battalion chief with Clark Cowlitz Fire and Rescue. This is Sean Kearns. He's the captain of the station. So the unique thing about the fairground station here is that we're in Fire District 6 and we're both CCFR employees, and across the street is CCFR. So we actually co-staff the station. So 2 of the 3 shifts we staff. District 6 to the south of us staffs at the other third of the time, and we actually are completely borderless with the calls. So they on their crew go either way into District 6. They're a District 6 resource. They're also CFR resource. So it's been a really good interlocal agency agreement that we've developed to really benefit the public. Last year out of this station, they ran 1,400 calls. They ran, 259 in January and February, so which is our slower months. So it has been a very busy station. So it's been really a great thing. A couple things to kind of update you on that have changed in 2025 is there's a new contract for the ambulances. So AMR on this side of the street has 10 minutes to get here. And on the other side of the street, they have 20 minutes to get here. So what we've done on our side of the street and CCFR is we actually went to the vote of the people and said, hey, we need an EMS levy, which now has paramedics on all our rigs, as well as we staff an ambulance that on the high priority calls, so that the chest pain calls, the heart attacks, the strokes, we now are the ambulance for all the 1s and 2s, and AMR can come between there. We're averaging 14 minutes or less now, but that's for our whole district all the way to the outskirts of Battleground. So down here, it's much lower. So we've really cut the time to get an ambulance to critical calls. So that's been a real boon. So thank all of you for supporting us with that. The last thing we want to talk about is there's something, has anybody heard of something called a tax increment financing?
Yes.
Yeah,
We
so,
had them here talking about it.
Okay. so we are actually having a meeting at our main station at the Ridgefield Junction on Monday. I believe it's at 6 o'clock, but you can check our website. Thank you. And basically what tax increment financing is it's a way that, like the city of Ridgefield, for example, is using to do some infrastructure work. So some really good things, like if you go up to Ridgefield, Pioneer Street is a mess right now. It's being torn up, but it's getting what we need. It's being,
Relates to that.
yeah, it'll be 4 lanes. We'll get all the traffic in and out that we need. But one of the things they did is that tax increment financing was a way for them to finance some of the things with some of their future tax dollars. But unfortunately, the way the law was written, it also takes ours. So the easiest way to explain this is Costco. So if we've seen Costco up there, Costco was built after the tax increment financing. So we get, for the next 25 years, the tax rate from before it. So we get the taxes as if it's a hayfield. They still pay it as it's Costco, and the difference of the cost goes to the city for all the infrastructure stuff. So it's doing good things with your money, but it's not necessarily doing the things that you voted for the fire district to do. So that also includes our EMS levy and the fire levy. So that's a real concern to us, because so for us, if you don't know, you're our southern border, Woodlands our northern border, Battlegrounds our eastern border, and we have 7 different taxing districts that can do this to us. We currently have 2, and they can each do 2, so that we can have 14 TIFs that are taking a percentage of our.
I don't want to interrupt you, Ron, but you just said that includes the EMS levy and the fire levy. You mean levies that you specifically
That we're
had
specific-
passed are part of this tip?
That
Yes.
you specifically.
Yes,
the reason
sorry,
they-
yeah,
we
we
approved, yeah.
Specifically
For
passed.
you guys.
Realize that.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Wow.
it's a thing that we are actively working, our chief Norris actively working with the state legislator to hopefully have them correct some of these things.
Yeah.
They're supposed to do some things to mitigate it. We've worked with the city of Ridgefield as much as we can, and they're actually helping us buy some property and a few things, but it's not apples to oranges. So that's all I have, unless you have any questions for us.
Thanks for coming tonight.
All right,
Clay.
thank you.
I really appreciate it. We also, the amphitheater's got some new folks as well. So this week I met with Danny Wild, who's the new general manager. Danny's super busy right now. This is basically his 2nd week on the job, but I said, our meeting's coming up. Would you like to say hello to folks? And he's right here. He said yes. And so, Danny, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Good evening, everybody. My name is Danny Wild. You'll notice a slight accent. I'm from Arkansas. No. Winston Churchill said 2 nations separated by a common language, right? So I didn't remind everybody we invented the language. You guys messed it up. That's okay. I am the new general manager over at what is now called the Cascades Amphitheater, for at least the next week. Anyway, there's been so many general managers, as I understand it, rolling through that amphitheater. I intend to stay there for at least a month, and then I'll move on. I've got quite a long history in the business. I've got 27 years for Live Nation. I've got 48 years in the industry itself. My last port of call was the Gorge Amphitheater in Central Washington. They sent me there in 2008 and forgot about me. Then they remembered I was there and said, why don't you go to Richfield? Sure, happy to do so. So I do understand all the concerns around the amphitheater. I have yet to, 6 or 7 venues that I've run, I've yet to come across a venue that doesn't have a lot of those same concerns to varying degrees. So I'm here to learn and to listen in the early stages. Not here to change change everything up. What's working, we intend to leave working. If we think we can make some positive changes, then we will do so. And I appreciate the invite tonight. It's going to be very important, I think, as I get to know you all and understand the community and the challenges that you will face when there's a concert going on. We're looking this year at a season of around 20 or so concerts. Good news, bad news. Bad news is a lot of them aren't selling very many tickets, and the good news means that's less traffic, right? But I think we'll have a good season. I'm looking forward to the challenge. I'm looking forward to working with everybody. And I definitely want to work closely with Andrew and this group and just to listen and understand everything and see if there's anything that I can do to help. We've introduced some technology in some other venues, such as drone technology and the like, which has helped tremendously. So I'll be pressing our company to help us out with some of that kind of stuff as well.
Excellent.
But as Andrew said, this is a bit of a drive-by for me because he only told me on Monday. I do have another place that I need to be tonight, but hopefully next time I meet you all, you'll have a bunch of questions for me, I'm sure, and hopefully by that point, I will have a bunch of answers.
Thanks, Danny. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Next on our list, I think we have committee reports. If you want to jump a slide or 2 slides there. So our treasurer report.
Sure.
Yeah, you want to talk? I just did the slide.
I know, I saw that. Treasurer report. So our current balance right now, $559.94. We had a wonderful donation of $150 at our last meeting. So I got that deposited. Thank you so much for that. And then we have a $16.22 fee for our custom URL for our website. So that comes annually in February. So that was our withdrawal on the 24th. So that's where we are as of now. So thank you all so much for your donations over the last couple of years. That has helped us stay in the green and help keep our website going and giving you all updates and such that you need for that. So thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. Let's see, what else do we have on here? So our next one, I got first word is, what are you gonna do? Move it fast. So a couple things to talk about. Folks might have seen this. I thought that this was worth bringing up. I think maybe everybody even noticed it. That there was a fatal crash at Northeast 29th and 147th. This is near the same intersection where folks who've been here, who've been coming to these might remember that we had a lady whose dog was hit and killed while she was walking on the leash. It was basically the same intersection. And it's been one that we're aware of that's been problematic and ongoing. If you go, and 29th is a long road. We're talking sort of about between 146 to 152nd or something like that. It's this stretch. There is a crosswalk at around 150th, but it's hard to even kind of call it a crosswalk. It's just got like 2 or 4 pylons that are white. I think they're not even very visible, and there's no markings, there's no lights, there's not really anything. Heidi Pozo, who was our land use chair previously, reached out, which which was great. Actually, she just reached out to some folks and got responses. So this is from Sergeant Rob Trina. So he asked if he could give any more update, and he can't at this point, by the way. But this was his initial response, was that it was unclear if the crosswalk would have prevented this, so it sounds like there's a little bit more investigation to go on. But the main reason I wanted to put his quote up here is that he said, he contacted Michelle Julin at Public Works. They talked about doing a flashing crosswalk. And then he said he's familiar with the location and the concerns are warranted, which I thought was, made me feel good that we have folks who are at least aware of this. And then he took that extra step. So I thought it was worth sharing. You folks maybe saw an email yesterday as well. Well, the Northeast 179th and 29th Street closures. Sue, can I ask? I don't actually know what happened last night with that. Can I ask you to speak, or I don't want to put
all 3 of us to come up.
Yeah, okay. If you want to take a minute to give us an update on that.
29th is Avenue, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
it is. You're right.
Yes.
North,
It's
south,
right
east,
by
west. You're totally right.
You hate to say that, but You're doing such a good job of putting data.
Oh, I mean, look at the first word on there. It was awesome. We had that pot on.
I'm not here already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Well, so, on our council agenda last night, no, night before.
Last
Last
night.
night.
It was a long night.
Anyway, on the consent agenda was this proposed closure for up to 2 years. I pulled it off the consent agenda and I let the team know that it would be coming up and
Yeah.
asked a bunch of questions.
I'm gonna reintroduce myself and give Jeremy a chance to do that too, but I'm Ken Later, the Public Works Director for the county. Jeremy Provenzola.
Jeremy Provenzola, Clark County Engineer, been with the county since 2022.
So, Chair Marshall pulled the item so that we could discuss it in detail, which we did. I did most of the talking, but I'm happy to go through what the closure is or answer any questions. The long and the short of it is, though, after a great deal of questions from each counselor, I think had at least one. The council did vote to approve the closure. So the intersection for 29th Avenue and 179th Street will close. We will be under bid and hoping for a contract award this season. So we'll start the work. And I know it lands pretty hard when you hear a 2-year closure. So I'm going to try to quickly take you through that like we did with council last night. Also, I'd invite you to watch that session if you want a little more detail, because the maps are available as we're talking our way through it. But
Yeah, there's a link on our website that will take you to those actually as well, or you can just find it.
yeah, and I don't know, like a 2-minute explanation or
That'd be
5
great.
minutes, or
If you give the 2 minutes.
Jeremy's gonna draw something just to help with the 2-minute explanation.
great.
We don't have a graphic, but obviously 29th Avenue, north, south, and then 179th east, west. So that 2-year closure, we've provided to the contractors a phased closure that they can all bid on, so that we have kind of an even playing field when they bring those bids back to us. Whoever is awarded that contract, they are required to come up with their own phasing plan. But we think it's going to go something like this, and the main reason is because of Mill Creek cutting through the 2 quadrants. So that 2-year period, the first year, roughly the first year, the north leg on 29th and the east leg on 179th stay open for that first part of that first year. But we will close down the area on the west leg and the south leg. The culverts get pulled out. We do our in-water work window, get rid of the culverts. We start building the abutments for the 2 bridges that are going in and raising up that grade so it kind of flattens out the road, so it doesn't have that pitch that you guys are all used to coming up to those stop signs from the different directions. So after the first year, that's when the full closure on all legs really happens. There's about a 6-month period where none of the legs are open, and we finish the bridge works. The bridges will actually get installed at that point. The first pavement lift goes in that you can travel on, and then if we bring that grade up as much as 15 feet in some places to put the roundabout in. The roundabout will primarily be constructed during that time as well. And then so now we're 18 months in. The final 6 months, the 3 legs, the north, south, and west open back up to traffic. But for that final 6 months, we still have a full closure on the east leg, and traffic can get through on 29th. But that's essentially the full closure pieces. I will say that during those partial closures of the legs, there will be some intermittent traffic closures for the contractor to do work as well. So that's maybe that was 4 minutes. I'm sorry.
This is a concept.
Mhm. It is.
There's still some opportunity for refinement here when we get a contractor on board.
So on your website is the suggested detours, this area listed?
I believe they're on the website.
Yes, if they aren't, we will make sure they are in the presentation we did last night as well, the suggested detours. The main one would be up to 199th over to 50th and then back around to get in. I will say, most importantly, our contractor is, whoever it is, they're required to give you access to your property if you're in a disturbed area all the time. So they can't prevent you from getting to your place. So that is part of their plan.
And it's partially why it's staged the way that it is so that they can accommodate that access.
So, and I will say, we absolutely understand this is a huge impact, right? And when it's done, that intersection will be a full roundabout, very safe, that will provide for the increased traffic in the area because.
We have a question online. Is there consideration with the work being done by C-Tran at WCB on 29th? Will they coordinate so we aren't impacted on both ends of 29th with the vine going in?
I think that's a great question, and I'll talk to Randy about that to make sure that we are coordinated. I don't know their schedule yet. We're still working on some agreements with them with the bus rapid transit.
Great question.
And this is planned to start in June, correct?
This intersection work, yeah, that's right, the in-water work. And then just to maybe add to that, the crosswalk that we were talking about where this accident, I believe the accident happened south of the crosswalk that we have right now. I think that crosswalk is really tagged for when the BRT work comes in to provide a better signal there that's lit and marked well. And it's unfortunate that we don't have that yet. So, yeah. And so
You go ahead.
I'll
Go.
start taking
I'm gonna give you the, yeah. So let me just to protect everyone. At 7:40, at 7:40, if we're still talking, I'm gonna let Ken go home.
No, I'm here for the night,
No, no,
but I can stay after.
That's fine. We've got other stuff to do.
This might be more of a question for the council or city council, but do you guys take into consideration more development that's going on along this roadway? Because there's a huge work across the street from us that is under development review right now. And if that project starts during the same time, we have a trailer that we need to be able to get in and out of our driveway right now. We can't turn left with it. Or if we can, we need to make sure there is no traffic coming. And if you guys start road work right there and we can't go anywhere, not to mention the bus service to school has been a nightmare up until I have called and my husband has called and had to fight to get our kids to school, which is absolutely ridiculous. So right now they're turning around in horse property, but if you guys allow development there, my bus service stops. And I have a job and he has a job. So you guys need to be thinking about that stuff when you're planning all this development at the same time. There was a time we couldn't go left or right out of our driveway through construction on the left, construction on the right. And we had to wait 20 minutes to get left. I mean, it was ridiculous, like unacceptable completely. Yeah.
So-
The specific development requests don't come back to the council.
I know, the right
Can the
hands and
council
left
not
hands
put
don't
it, ask
talk.
for a moratorium on development? I mean, they
Yeah,
just
no,
approved
left hand, right
111
hand,
houses at Olson subdivision, which is near this. And so, yeah, like, how about that was the last large one, 111 houses just about 4 months ago. Like, how about a moratorium in this area of large subdivision?
There's plenty of places in our county they can build.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna
Pause
have
on this
a
infrastructure.
traffic light.
I get it. I get it.
Who's the developer person? Who's in charge of approving all these developments that we need to bark at? Because like,
So
this has to be stopped while this is going on.
if I can, and first off, I want to say thank you for that. And I hear what you're saying, and I think it would be helpful for us to have April 1st come in, maybe with some of her team. She leads community development, and I know she'd be happy to speak with you. And I'm happy to be here at the same time. You know, Public Works is doing the capital road improvements. Community development is taking the applications and permitting the development. I will say, this is a result of the decision to lift urban holding. And I know I've said that to you guys too many times and it sounds like I'm being tone deaf. And I think it's very unlikely that there would be a moratorium or restriction. I know I've said it before, and I, you know, I hate to say it again because it doesn't help you at all. But what I will say is like we have inspectors that check these sites. We work with our own contractor on the capital projects. And if you have specific things like you can't get your trailer out of the driveway, you know, give us a call. We will do what we can to get somebody talking to
Well,
the
yeah, so
contractor.
who do we call? Because we can't turn left out. We can't go east out of our driveway right now with the trailer because there's culvert. So we can only go left. And when Roger Nutter was doing work.
And is that the utility work or the development, like
Well,
one of the
sewer would
developments?
have been this
Yeah.
particular one. So Nutter just told us we needed to call or let them know a day before we were leaving our house. And then we had to drive over there again the next day, give them a 20-minute warning that we were coming and we could get through. But now I'm hearing that the road's gonna be completely inaccessible for 6 months. At some point, and again, we're 50 feet overall. We can't just turn from 179th and go north on 29th and not hit every car that's waiting to turn on 179th. Like, it's not wide enough for that. So somebody would need to stop traffic so we can go in the other lane and maybe make that turn.
And we would
No, my
expect,
husband's
our contractor to make that accommodation for you. to
I
get
will
you-
say I've
get
had
you
really
in
good
and out.
luck with them in front of my house. I've talked to each and every one of them and they, Rachi, believe it or not, has been.
But the work right now isn't in front of our house. It's down the road, but it
Yeah.
If you go talk to them, I'm telling you, they're like,
The crew is great.
yep,
Their traffic control plan says they can stop you for 20 minutes at any chosen time. Take your kids to gymnastics. Wait 20 minutes to go home, 20 minutes to leave, 20 minutes to come back. You almost killed an hour just trying to get through the construction. How many construction sites are between 29th and 50th currently? 7? Along with what the road closure are gonna do?
well, you're talking about developments. that are-
You got sewer lines going in, you got the pump station going in, you have whole
It's a
homes
lot. There's
on 2
no
sides of
doubt.
the road,
And it's
you have
gonna be that way for a
HSR,
while.
you have Cozy Manor.
I will follow up on the moratorium. I don't know if legally we can do it if permits have already been issued. I will raise it though and see what. I
Future
can
ones, I mean,
find out.
because when they can
Well, this
look
one
at a
isn't
sequence,
even approved yet. It's
do a
still
DNS on
not
something
even
like,
reviewed yet, so it's not even.
So
approved.
I'm happy to schedule a time to bring April back and so Andrew doesn't cut me off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Last one.
Along
last
with
one.
that, aren't you going to upgrade from 29th to 15th?
Eventually we will.
During that
Yeah,
time frame?
yeah, and
Later.
later on. Yeah.
So that closure is not included in this.
That's correct. And we can bring back our best estimate at the schedule, but there are several projects in the corridor and that's another one of those.
You know, I have one thing to say. When this closure really takes place and all the homes in Ramble Creek are finished and all the homes on 179th are completed, you're not gonna go anywhere in the morning, nor are you gonna come home in the evening. But any reasonableness, there's not enough egress. Just isn't. The 50th to Salmon Creek, there's room for 10 cars in the left turn lane to 205. A lot less if you have a truck. It's gonna back up. All the egress in this area is limited, and with all these homes, people are gonna have to leave real early in the morning if they wanna get anywhere.
what would you
It's
think
just
about
gonna be a
doing a
real problem.
daytime field trip to address these very urgent issues for these people that are affected? You know,
I'm,
so-
I'm gonna give a reminder of, please pass the microphone because people online, all they're hearing is blah, 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 and they get frustrated and they sign off. And so please pass the microphone around. If you want to speak and ask a question, please talk into the microphone.
I'm curious to know, are they gonna continue?
Thank you.
to do this work, or are they gonna shut down in the winter month and let the road block and close? Or are they gonna continue to work full time?
And when we have a contractor and they set their schedule, I'd be happy to share that with you, but I don't have an answer to that right now. We don't dictate how they build it as far as means and methods and what their schedule will be. But we certainly encourage them to stay as active as possible.
Well, shouldn't that be a part of the contract? Like a lot of building projects, if they don't get finished in time, they charge more money. I mean, I believe in that they're gonna have this thing road shut down, nobody's gonna be doing it during the winter.
Well, the nice thing is they should be able to work on the bridge.
Microphone.
Yeah. Well, also, we're past the.
They should be able to work on the bridge full, both bridges full time. Their weather shouldn't be a problem, other than.
Because they're doing bridges, they'll be up out of the high water and they should be able to work.
Sure.
Correct. And so I'm gonna take over and say that those are our questions for tonight. Thank you guys for submitting them. And thank you, big thanks to Ken, Sue, and Jeremy for coming up here without you guys didn't know I was gonna call your name and tell you to come up here.
I'm
Thank you.
gonna leave my cards in the back, so if you have specifics that are problems, you can always CC me and I'll connect you with whoever can help you.
Yep, and and this was just last night, so maybe when we're further along, maybe we'll ask Ken to come on out, or, and it sounds like people do want to still talk to April first of community development, so ask her too, so.
Thanks.
So thank you guys for. Yeah, that's okay, that's okay, we do have more traffic stuff on the agenda, so we gotta keep talking about it. Well, actually, this is for you guys. I've got one up here. I've got one up here. And I think they can hear me in it, right?
Yes,
Microphone's
I
right
think
there.
so.
Okay, so I'm all good, but I appreciate it. The one other thing on here that I wanted to talk about was the 139th Street School Safety School Zone Safety Improvement Project. On our website, I'm gonna show you, go to it myself. I realize
Is
it.
it on, should I go to the next slide?
I should have put it on there, but I always forget that I don't have access here. So I think it's March 26th. There's an open house for this next week on Wednesday. Thank you. It's like somebody knows. Next Wednesday, there's an open house about this project. They're going to do a whole bunch of different things to make the school zone safer around Alki and Alki.
Skyview, Alki.
Yeah, it's right, yep. And so, restriping, so I think the main thing, is taking it from 4 lanes to 2 lanes. And there's an article in the Columbian, so there's different thoughts on doing that, as well as lights. I mean, Ken, you're actually answering. You want to You don't have to. Stay there. It's okay. Here's what you need to know. It's the information for the open house is on our website. If you go to fourcreeksna.org, it's going to be the first blog post that you see there. It's going to be right there. You can click on it. You can get the information for it about what's going to happen, as well as when the open house is.
Is that just east of 50th for that new project that Hoffman's building?
This is northwest. This is
Northwest.
yep.
Oh,
This is yep.
Over by Bliss Road.
Yeah.
Yep, by Bliss Road.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay, so the next thing we have to do tonight is board elections. This is where we get to vote whether you want to let us keep doing this. You want to see a different face up here? I'm all for it. Somebody please. So Justin's gonna, do you want to help do that? We'll pass out some ballots here. Anybody in the room can vote. If you live in the neighborhood or actually I do, then that's great.
But you don't have a list of the,
Maybe I'll let you guys have these.
Are you taking nominations or we just say we retain the original person?
This is a good question. So, the way it works.
Did you?
I don't know. Actually, there was.
If you need a pen, raise your
There you go. Okay, so, good question, Tyler. This is how it works. So all executive board roles are up for election annually. So this is just for executive board members that we elect. The roles up for election tonight are president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. You see that little red asterisk there? Says that role is critically needed. Jessica's doing both roles right now, and we would love it if we could get a secretary. The tasks that the secretary mostly has to do is take the meeting notes during the meeting. As I mentioned, we video them all, so it's not as critical as it used to be, although you want to get good notes, certainly votes and things like that. So we are taking nominations. That was a question that you asked. We can nominate at this meeting. Other roles, we need our land use chair, neighborhood cleanup coordinator, community event coordinator. These aren't things we've had in the past. Well, land use we have, but they're things that people said they wanted in the survey that we did at the end of last year. So nominations, necessarily, any resident can nominate themselves or another person. And I just have the bio put. If you want to jump to the next one, you can skip past that one. So on election day, if you want to nominate yourself, or if you nominate somebody else and they accept, you can give a statement about, just who you are, why you want to do it. You don't have to do that. You can also just say, I'll do it, and that's good enough. Go ahead. And then I think it went back one more. Oh, it's going backwards.
Why is it going backwards? There we go.
Great. So here's the voting process. So in person only. I'm sorry, folks joining electronically. We just never were able to figure out a great way to do that. And actually, we thought we were going to be able to, but we weren't. So it's paper ballot only, which is how it's been forever. Everybody has a ballot, right? Does anybody still need one? Okay, so everybody's got a ballot. And is there one more slide? Oh yeah, great. So counting. So we'll probably count them tonight. This will be really easy, but I put this just so we had a contingency, if something happens, someone pulls a fire alarm, we're gonna count them in the next 5 days with any residents who want to be there to witness it. So, but we're gonna do it tonight. So the way to fill out the ballot, well, let me just first say, so I'm nominating myself and Jekka for the role of president. I've done it for the last couple of years. I think we've had some good success. One of the, the things that I'm kind of most proud of in this role is that we've been able to create a good website, which is something that didn't exist before. And we've been able to improve the relationship with the amphitheater, which I think has, what it means is that when we contact them, it's collegial and they want to help. And I don't know that it was quite like that previously. So I feel really good about being able to have achieved that. Is there anybody else who would like to nominate themselves for president or another person? Okay, then I'm going to write my name on the board, and those ballots in front of you are blank. So you'll just write in whoever you vote for. Is that, can you see that? Sort of. Okay. I'll tell you how to spell it if you need. Last name is C-E-C-K. First name is Andrew, just like you. Do we have anybody who wants to nominate themselves for secretary? Anne?
Is that your typist?
That's our typist. Are you Anne?
I am.
Hi, Anne.
Would you like to have this
Secretary.
fun job? Secretary typing.
Great. How do you spell your last name, Anne?
Like an old person. I'm not old. E-L-D-E-R.
Oh, great.
Elder.
And there's an E at the end of Anne, is that right?
No.
No, there's not. Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of that. Great. Treasurer? Yeah.
I would love to.
Okay, great.
Hi, everyone. Again, I'm Jessica Lavanis. I've been your treasurer for 2 years now. I would love to continue this position. I feel I've done a great job managing our money and supporting us financially through this experience. And continue that for you all and helping with that. So,
Why don't you do the honors?
I would love to.
Well, you're going to be VP if you write it there.
Oh, sorry. I don't want that. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. Yeah, someday
Yes, that's right.
when the kids get older.
Right. I'm not really sure how to handle our VP this evening. So our vice president, JEL, had to leave because he had a medical emergency. And I don't actually know, I know Jay's super busy.
He didn't tell me in his text if
Yeah.
he is wanting to or not. He
Yeah.
didn't, he
Okay.
wasn't clear about that.
So we don't know where that stands, but, go ahead, you got a question?
Well, don't you have to be present to nominate yourself?
No, actually.
Let me
Wait,
see.
well, did I say that in the, I might have written it that way on the slide. Well, let's check the bylaws. You have to be present to vote.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah,
Oh,
Well, I
you have to be
he
present to
said he
vote.
was not planning to run.
Okay, gotcha. Let's check the bylaws. This is why I quoted them in there, actually. Let me just look, I have it in front of me. I forget about that.
But if he's not planning to run, Andrew.
Doesn't matter. Good point. Thank you. Thanks, I needed that. Would anybody like to nominate themselves?
Question for Jessica.
Yeah.
Yes,
What are our budget needs?
so right now, let's see.
Yeah.
Mostly right now, it's for the website to keep our Wix membership going. That's about a couple $100 every year. We do a lot of like email management and contact management. We have a pretty neat kind of all out of the box tool that we use for that. So there's a couple $100 there. We also do like a family picnic gathering type thing in the summer. It wasn't as successful last year. We're hoping this year it'll be a little more successful, and we provide drinks and dessert for that. So some of the money will go towards that. We're also hoping to do some more outreach in the future, maybe some community service type things. So we do have some more plans for that. I know Andrew was planning to go through some of our survey results at some point. So some of the ideas that we got from there, we're hoping to use some of the money for that as well.
Other than donations, what's the other source of income we have?
Only donation.
Only donations at this time. We're not actually a 501c3 or a non-official nonprofit in that way, but we just collect donations that way.
One of the things that I really hope we can do this year is do some kind of litter cleanup or neighborhood cleanup. And then how we would use those funds is kind of up in the air. You know, I've had different thoughts about it. One of the thoughts was to have a couple different groups in different areas of the neighborhood compete for, I don't know, pizza party or something like that. Whoever collects the most trash by weight. So we you know, spend $100 on that, or maybe, you know, depending on what we need, maybe we have to hire trucks to go pick it up or something like that. So, but that's one of the other thoughts.
This may not be appropriate now, but many of us that walk our dogs at fairgrounds, especially after the concerts. My thought was, why don't they increase the ticket pricing by $1.25 and tell people that the reason we're doing this is because you guys are some lazy asses. Instead of throwing your stuff in your car, you're throwing it on the ground. And many of us that do that don't like that, because, you know, we all own fairgrounds because we're all taxpayers. I get tired of it.
I hear you. I live right on Delfell there, and I'll walk Delfell, and the amount of Fireball fifth containers is really shocking.
People love that cinnamon whiskey.
Just, yeah, so, you know, you learn what's popular. You know what show was there last weekend based on what's along the road, which is a bummer. So, but
So I think maybe it's a consultation with you.
Yeah.
With some of the other folks, especially the manager of the
Danny.
amphitheater state, just increase your ticket prices. And we can take the money
Mhm.
and do that.
Yeah, I like that idea. I like that
A
idea.
little waste fee or something.
Do we have any nominations for vice president?
Since Jay's not gonna be able to do it, I'll throw my hat in the ring.
Okay.
Wow.
Spell your last name for me, Bob.
HEIBERG.
Thank you. I always want to extra letters. Any other nominations? All right, folks, it's gonna be a tight race. As you can see. It's a nail biter. If you want to write down who you want to vote for on the ballot, you can abstain. You can, yep, I see question in the eyes.
If there's no one running against you, aren't you just acclaimed to be in these roles now?
But it feels
I
like,
think formality wise,
it feels like, yeah,
okay.
this is just ego stuff. This is.
I think you have to look at the ballot.
Can I ask for a recount after?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. We have
We have.
Oh, we have Steve. That's right.
We have done acclamation just before.
All right.
But I don't know what your, I don't know what your bylaws say. We have an acclamation in your snow.
Can you go pick them up?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, look, everyone on the board won. I counted them so fast. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
So our next order of business here, where are we in terms of time? Just want to check. So we're doing good. We're about where they left it. So we've got Steve Gallup from the Transportation Division of Clark County. And Steve, I'm just going to let you tell them what you're here for.
This is very exciting. This is very exciting stuff.
Is my favorite neighbor association. Because I'm actually a member.
Oh, wonderful.
Don't tell anybody else. And I am actually here, I'm not here as a member, I'm actually representing Public Works for Clark County. And to talk to you about a new program that I am really excited about. We're hoping to get this program going next year. But we got a few steps to, can you hear me? A few steps that we need to kind of go through. So anyway, so this is the program, Neighborhood Traffic Management Program. There's me, Steve Gallup, and then also Harrison Husting from the Planning Department is also helping me present this program this year to different neighborhood associations and boards and things like that. He couldn't be here today. He had a different engagement, but normally he would be here presenting this program with me. What is it? It's like say Neighborhood Traffic Management Program. It's a program, it's a systematic program that addresses traffic concerns. I heard earlier speeding. This is to help with that, traffic calming, speeding issues, things like that. So cut through traffic. And then it has what we call the big 3 E's: education, enforcement, and engineering. So this program tries to do all of those things and involved. So go next slide. This is the overview of the process. We'll have first a request from neighborhood association or resident. That'd be the first thing. Then after we get a request, we do the evaluation. We collect the data, determine if it's eligible. We'll have certain kind of requirements. We'll have a kind of a tree that we'll work through to make sure the road is eligible for this program and things. And then, of course, we do some collaboration and engagement with residents and the neighborhood associations. We'll be coming to more meetings like this to talk about the program. And if we get a request from you guys, of course, we come to meetings like this to talk about it. And then the other thing, last thing is implementation. So then we'll of course, do the project. So we're hoping that at the beginning of the year, we'll kind of work through the requests and stuff. And then kind of at the end of the year, we'll be able to implement things. Well, currently, right now, these are the things that are available to us for traffic calming. We have sheriff's office, deputies, of course, they're limited. They do help. We meet with them once a month to try to coordinate and problems and issues that we've noticed throughout the county. But they are, like you've heard earlier, they are limited in the resources that they have. We do use these speed feedback signs. You've probably seen them out there that tell people how fast they're going when they drive by. And those are pretty effective for about a week or so. And then people catch on and they know that they're not getting, that there's no tickets or anything issued with them.
Question,
Yes,
why don't you guys use cameras like you do in Canada?
that's a good question. Yeah, we have, actually in the state of Washington, that's kind of just been passed to be able to use safety cameras. But that requires a lot of resources with the sheriff department. There's a lot of steps that go through that. We have, also have to come up with an ordinance or a county council to pass. A lot of different, I guess, resources needed for that. Sheriff's Department, Public Works, Community Development. There's a lot of
I
players.
hate to show my naiveness, but I thought it was, once you get the ordinance, go and use the camera, then you compare them. Because you do the distance,
You actually need an officer to be able to look at those. That's right. And
Really?
so that takes
It's called AI.
AI.
There's,
Yeah. And then the other thing that we do is, of course, we have traffic counts, collect data. We do speed studies and things like that. So that kind of helps us also to know how fast people are going and what the problem is.
just a quick comment on the camera thing. We do have a blog post that links to an article that explains what I think it's even called something like, why aren't there cameras? Why can't we use speed cameras? Something like that. But it explains some of the hurdles in pretty good detail on the website. So sorry.
These are some of I'm just going to run the next 3 or 4 slides. I'm going to run through some of the things that would be available through this program that would be able to do. This one here is just showing like medians in the middle of the road. Those medians, they kind of add friction, make the road look a little narrow, so that helps slow down traffic. Next slide. This one, of course, go back one. Speed bumps, probably all seen those. This program will help us to be able to use those more often in more places. That's another kind of tool that will be part of the program. Pedestrian crossings, they'll be able to enhance and provide better safety for pedestrian crossings. This is showing a pedestrian island in the middle there. And again, that helps with, of course, provide safety for crossings and things. And this other one, optical speed bars. This is actually a thing that we're trying on Northeast 88th Street. And what it is you have these little kind of like tick marks that when you install them, they get, as you go down the road, they get closer and closer. And so it makes when you drive, it kind of makes you look like, hey, wait a second, these things are getting closer and closer. It looks like I'm kind of going faster. Maybe I better slow down. So, like I said, we've installed these on 88th Street and have done before and after stays, and some of our after stays show that it does actually work. People do slow down, and things. So
You're messing with people's heads.
it's an effective tool. Yeah. Maybe it's AI.
That's right.
I hate to interrupt again. On 29th and 188, we used to have indentations across one of the lanes. And I don't know how many people are driven on it. It vibrates your tires.
Oh, like rumble strips or something like that.
Right. They weren't positive, they were negative. Grooves. They were grooves. And then now I drove on it the other day after the detour that were gone. But I thought they were very effective. I don't know why you took them out.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with those.
Did anyone?
But
And they work really well.
Yeah.
What do you guys?
yeah, and a lot of times we'll put those grooves, rumble strips before like an intersection, like with stop signs and stuff like that, to kind of rattle people up, wake them up, let them know hey, something's coming up and things. So I know we have that at different intersections throughout the county too. Next slide. So how this program's gonna support our, team. It'll actually allow us to have, hire 2 full-time employees to run this program, which is a lot. And then, also it's gonna help us be more proactive versus reactive. So that we'll be able to go out, neighborhoods and kind of be more proactive as far as, where are the issues, where are the problems, and how to solve those. Get those done. And then also help us to collaborate more with neighborhood associations, people, residents, more like you on these types of issues. So, the benefits, of course, we all want this: safer streets for pedestrians, cyclists, drivers, all users that use that road. And, your roads, it'll enhance neighborhood livability and safety, and it's more of a transparent and equitable process throughout the whole county. And so, and this program is, I probably didn't mention this from the beginning, but the program is more for local roads and local streets, which we really don't have a program today. And so that's what this is kind of the things that really benefits those types of roads. Our next steps, like I say, we're going to be presenting this program to the Development Engineering Advisory Board as well as the Planning Commission. And then we're going to go back to council for a public hearing and get their approval. And then we will also, we're going to go around, Harrison and I are going to go around to different neighborhood associations and present this program to them, let them know what's coming up. And then we're hoping to launch it in 2026. And then we'll have a reporting process every year, report probably back to council and let them know what we've done and our successes and things.
Nice.
That's it. Yes.
Back in January, Chuck Green in Richfield gave me a referral to get radar signs, the solar powered. And I provided that to Mr. Later and Provenzola. Did they give that to you? The grant application expires on March 31st for free signs or significant cost reduction. Did we apply for those?
We did not permanent ones. We haven't applied for.
Why not?
We applied for the HSIP grant for 3 different sites.
Okay.
Received improvements.
Maybe I should have Ken and Jeremy come back up, maybe Chair Marshall.
Depending on the questions, I'm happy to.
I'll just say I fully support this.
Yeah, that's what my comment was gonna be too. It's just
Nice.
that I really, thank you. You actually have a lot more weight than I do and behind that. But I really love the program because what's happening is Steve and his department is saying, hey, we want to hear from you all to understand what's happening in your neighborhoods. And I think that that's great. Anytime anytime you say we want to hear from you, it's excellent because we want to tell you, but we don't know that folks are listening. And so this is you saying we're listening, right? Bring us that information. So I love it.
Yeah, and for the counselors that go around and visit the neighborhood associations, it's because we've heard about these problems that we're supportive of this. So people's voices are picking up.
Excellent.
I think the next one's over here.
How much funding is provided for all these street calming measures for maintenance after they've been built federal dollars? Street cleaning for cleaning the island, repairs for the rapid flash beacons.
So this is going to be a self-funded program. So to be internal, we're going to be using road funds and things like that to do this program. So then there will be maintenance involved, of course, of these devices that we set up that will fall into our regular operational program. So
If I could just make a quick distinction, I'll try to talk loudly for the mic, but the federal funding that you're talking about would be for our major capital projects. But these are local dollars for your neighborhoods to address traffic calming in the neighborhoods. And so there aren't any federal dollars when the neighborhood is stressed.
But it's more cost later on down the line for maintenance. Is that worked into the general fund or anything?
More cost for maintenance on when we
Somebody
install
gonna
this.
clean these islands out where these crosswalks are, because they're trash collectors and leaf collectors. Maintenance and rapid flash, you put a rapid flash beacon in the middle of the road, they constantly get hit, almost like a Mothville light.
Yeah, it would still be part of our regular operations, road operations. And we have about, with this request to council, it's about $250,000 annually for the program.
Bless you.
And a quick note on what you're referring to, a lot of the signs getting damaged. We do have an apparatus that goes after insurance for those drivers strike those.
So Steve, I happen to be the guy that Steve Fallberg just talked about in Public Works Director in Richfield. One of the things that we are doing now is we've incorporated some of these measures into our development standards. So when developments are built, sometimes we are requiring the flashing beacons, other traffic calming devices. Is the county considering doing anything like that?
We have the flashing beacons and stuff. We have that is a tool that we have that we can use. If it's warranted, it's just a matter of trying to come up with the funds for that. So we've been using those, that type of,
Yeah, well, what I was talking about is actually having the developers pay for it and build that as part of the development.
yes, this program will help us to be able to require the developers to do that. So, yeah. Yes.
So Steve, sometimes I wonder if people know what the speed limit is.
What?
Do, I see those signs that say in speed limit. Can you explain that to me?
So we have roads that have speed limits marked. They have signs, actually signs that tell you what the speed limit is. And then we have roads that don't have signs on them. So like if you're on a road and it's 35 miles per hour, then all of a sudden you see a sign that says in speed limit. So that's telling you that's the end of that 35 miles per hour. And then it's a road that's unposted. So it's you follow what's called the basic rule. So you should be driving, most prudent drivers drive at a speed that is safe for that road. And then the maximum speed, of course, is 50 miles per hour. You can't go past 50 miles per hour on any roads, unposted road. So that's the maximum speed. But some roads require you to drive slower than that, just depending on curves, weather conditions. You know, you're going to be driving, slower than 50 miles per hour.
Down on Bridger, as far west as you can go, and we're just a little speed trap for all the young people who want to know that they can move little sports cars as fast as they can on that road. And it says the end, but I just wondered, I've actually called them a couple times, and I just went, never got the answer. I heard what your answer was, but just don't understand why the county would choose something like that. And when, at least from my perspective, that encourages people to speed. There's no posted speed limit on that section. We used to have speed limit, and then it changed.
Okay. Yeah. I know we actually have a lot of roads that are unposted. And it does take a lot of time it would take a lot of time to do speed studies and figure out what the speed limit should be and things. And so we just don't have those resources to be able to do that. But,
any other questions? Seems like we're kind of out. Well, great. Well, the other thing that we have on our agenda, it says it's a resident town hall. Does anybody have any announcements that you guys would like to make any? And yeah, thank you. Let's do that. The end of the day for me.
We've been working the farm all day.
I've been working the farm all day. Yeah. So does anybody have any big triumphs or anything that you want to share with your neighbors? This is their chance. Go ahead.
I'm probably loud enough.
That on the-
The last time we had the meeting, I was talking about the charrette event for the Salmon Creek Lions Club. They've changed the location from previous years, so it's going to be at the parking lot at the Salmon Creek United Methodist Church, which is just south of Safeway. It's on 99. Okay, it'll be from 10 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And the donation money this time goes to the Lions Club International Foundation for disaster relief worldwide. Okay. The other thing is we also collect food items for the local food banks, and this has been outstanding. So this is what the Lions Club does, and this is one of those outlet. You asked about having outreach. The Lions Club does a lot of this, and so I'm proud to be able to come and tell you about that.
What's the date?
Oh, I'm sorry. The date is the last Saturday of March. It's the 28th. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I'm here first time. Thank you, Tyler Castle, pertinent to this area, Regional Park. I'm the president of the Whipple Creek Restoration Committee, and we do a third Saturday volunteer work party at the park, 9 a.m. to noon. We've been doing work in that park since 2008. We've been an adopted park member of Clark County since 2011, and that park, if you don't realize or know, it's 1.4 acres developed. Our tax dollars take care of parking lot. The 12 miles of trails were built as a result of over 15,000 volunteer hours building those trails and maintaining them. So, if you've ever been to Whipple Creek, it's a beautiful place, and put it in your notes, or anybody who wants to ever come to a volunteer work party, it's a great place to come, 9 to noon every third Saturday of the year.
Do folks have to sign up for it or just show up?
They can just show up if they like.
Where do they go?
They show up at the main parking lot, right off 179th Street, just down the road.
Awesome.
9 to noon, third Saturday.
Anybody else? You're right. Great. Then what we need to do is we need to adjourn this meeting. So, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
We have a motion. Can I get a second? Seconded. All in favor of adjourning our meeting? Meeting so adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Good job.
Early, another early one. Not normal.